out with Professor Yalman from Radio TED-U Ankara studios, and I have a very nice guest with me, a very special guest, and her name is Dona. Her name is Dolunay, but I have this thing with Dona and Dolunay. When she was looking for a group name in their group study session, I mistakenly called her not Dolunay but Dona, and then I said I will tell you a story about Dona. So the story was this: when I was in my professional life working for Doge Group, we decided to have an image lift in terms of redoing the logo and visuals, etc. And we went into searching for a photographer, and the photographers that sort of came in bidding in terms of doing this job were actually regular scenery photographers or still shot photographers, etc. But I decided to have a different perspective for this, and perspective is one of the things that we're going to be talking about, because perspective influences perception, right, Donna?
Yeah.
And welcome, by the way, welcome to our studios. So we reached out to my dear friend now, Russell James, who is also the photographer of Victoria's Secret. Russell is from Australia, and he has a very different perspective to life as well. So he kindly accepted the offer, and we started working with him. And in one of our trips to New York, he said he wanted to introduce us to his friends, and we just went from the plane directly to the restaurant, and there was Russell with his friends, and we were like having some food, etc. Of course, I was jet lagged a bit, but so everybody introduced each other to each other, whatever. And this woman who was sitting next to me said, "So who are you?" I told her who I was and what I was doing for the company. I was in charge of the intangible assets and the perception, structuring, and strategy for the group. And then I asked her the same question. I said, "So who are you?" And she said, "I'm Donna." I said, I got your name, but who are you?" She said, "I'm Donna." And then I said, "Yeah, I got your name, but what do you do and who are you?" And she said, "I'm Donna Karan, as in DKNY." Oh, I was so embarrassed. I didn't know. I never saw the face of Donna before, so everybody started laughing, and she started laughing as well. So this was the anecdote which led me to call Dolunay Donna. So, Donna, welcome to our studios at Radio TED-U at our Ankara campus of TED University. What do you want to talk about?
Thank you hocam for calling for me to I really want to talk about misunderstood or misperception, which we were actually talk about it early in our classes, a little bit. So I want to make a deep dive in it. So, for example, when I talk with people, I have an issue.
Yeah.
I act way too honest and direct, so people sort of confuse it, and they think they know too much about me. Whenever I say, "What do you know about me?" they're confused because I over-explain, I overjoy, or just talk about memes and do memes every time. So there is always a misconception about that part of me. I don't get.
Okay, let me reverse the topic to you with a question, because I don't like the Socratic method. I don't like monologues. I like dialogues and learning via Q&A. So this is the way I would reverse it. Do you think misperception is due to misunderstanding?
I don't.
And whose fault at this? Maybe. I mean, if you're misunderstood and therefore misperceived, whose fault is it? Is it your fault, or is it their fault, whoever they may be.
Or like you mean you choose the wrong target, maybe like the
Uh,
audience.
yeah, that's a different dimension. Let's say you are misunderstood and misperceived because of the wrong audience.
Mm.
You might say that as an argument, but yeah, that could be. You might be sort of doing something at a level of intellectual stuff to X audience, but the X audience capacity is not enough to get that intellectual asset. Therefore, you should sort of turn around and deal with the Y audience. Yeah, that's shift of audiences could be one of the answers, but um, again, I'm going to ask you the same question or repeat the same question. If you're misunderstood, therefore misperceived, whose fault is it? Is it your fault or is it their fault? Assuming that the audience is correct.
Mm. Then it's mine.
It's yours.
That's actually I did the mistake of like try to over explain or like
Why is it your fault?
Something went wrong. Please try again.
I don't I don't really get that. That's why I'm actually asking.
Yeah, but I'm asking I'm asking for us to learn together. I mean, why, if it's your fault, why do you think it would be your fault? What did you do wrong?
Maybe like I don't know, but it's usually happens in me in the school or like in general in my like age people. Whenever I just like trying to socialize, people are not maybe tend to socialize because whenever I didn't thought it was that hard at first because in our like school Instagram page, there was people saying that it's hard to socialize and stuff. I was like, no, it's not. But then I was in the elevator and there's a girl. I just complimented her hair, and she literally ghosted me so weirdly. Like she was making that faces and she was like pissed off and all saying stuff.
So being ghosted is an outcome of
Sorta, yeah. Sort of,
being misunderstood, therefore misperceived.
yeah, like randomly blocking. I don't know if it's because of identity crisis that's in our ages or emerging adulthood, or like I don't know. It happens a lot in my like age groups.
So is it because you are overly explicit or overly extrovert and this happens to you because of that, or is it because of the fact that people are not ready to interact with you in that form of open statement? Because like if you're in the elevator and this is the first time you're seeing that person and you compliment the hair, it's actually something nice, but she must be getting something out of this because of her inner world, and therefore she is ghosting you and you're getting pissed off of because you think or you assume that you are misunderstood, therefore misperceived.
Yeah, I not really, but like in general, I don't know. It's hard to socialize. Maybe I assume that it's hard to socialize. Nobody actually wants to socialize. Maybe in that case, I don't know. But like,
Why do we socialize? To be understood and perceived the way we want?
maybe
Why do we socialize? Why do we need to socialize, do you think?
because it's probably primal instinct to like stay in all together. Um, in like evolutionary psychology, we need that. We need in order to make something with us. Viralin nesi var ki elin sesi var
All right,
misali.
you're like the primary psychology of being united and being together because we are born.
Need each other.
We need each other because we are born into something we don't know, and all of a sudden we experience the same thing, as if like we're reborn and reborn as we step into new things, and we don't know those new things, and we need the unitarian way of each other's support so that we are sustaining our perception, which is actually derived from people understanding us. So therefore, if people understand us and perceive us correctly, we're not feeling alone.
Correct.
Is that a right analogy of fourth playing our logic of looking at this?
Yeah, in general.
But let's say nobody understands you and therefore you're not perceived. Does that mean you don't exist?
I exist in other forms.
You exist in other forms.
Like, I make music. I make my own humor.
For example, Van Gogh. Nobody understood Van Gogh in his lifetime. And nobody perceived Van Gogh the way Van Gogh wanted to be perceived. Therefore, he was not worthy, zero. But once he died, the entire spectrum turned around, and whoever owns a Van Gogh right now is filthy rich.
I don't know. It's sort of. I actually thought about it, but I thought it was like a marketing something, because whenever somebody is dead, it gets like more hypes.
No, this is a very interesting subject because from here I want to say hi to Aret Vartanyan, and he writes nice books and delivers nice speeches. And when he was reading my books, because I wrote like 22 books and only 4 of them were published, and I was like questioning why my publisher is not publishing my other books, and my publisher at that time, she said, nobody understands you and nobody can write so many books within a frame of 4 or 5 years. And I said to her, I'm not writing to be understood. I'm writing to offload my entire brain and feelings and heart and psychology at that moment within the spectrum of things are occurring around me. Same thing with my albums. Like, I have 9 music albums on Spotify, but when I look at my monthly listeners list, it's only 30 people who are listening to me per month. Okay, so when you just type in Semih Yalman and Spotify, you'll have my albums out there. But so taste is something important. But then a lot of people come back to me and say they don't understand your music, they don't understand what you're writing, because you're writing in so many different fields. That's why, for example, my one of my, I think, bravest books was on beard. It's called Sakal, but it's discontinued because it didn't sell the way the publisher expected. Of course, that doesn't mean that it's not going to sell in the future, like the case in Van Gogh and whatever. But did I write it? I wrote it. Did I write it to be understood? No. So my question is this, after giving an example from my real life. Do we need to be understood, to be perceived, to feel we are valuable and worthy?
I mean, you use your books or like the music, Spotify, as like brain dump.
Yeah.
I love that consumption, by the way. Like, I also like do exact the same stuff, like in Medium or stuff.
Brain dump, emotion dump, yeah.
Yeah, but like, for example, I have a little bit pressure on like do something that everyone can understand, or else it's a trash or something. I was like raised like this. Whenever I play oud or like violin, I love to play old music or like folk musics or like even Mediterranean music from like Ottomans and stuff. But my family doesn't know that these sort of songs, so they're like, we don't understand, just play something we can understand. So like, I don't know, I think it's probably from the pressure, maybe, that I'm like, oh, I need to be understood, or like to be understood, to be valued. Equation, maybe.
Were you valued when you were a kid?
What?
Were you valued when you were a kid, like when you were small, a child?
Yeah.
Yeah, you felt that. And the value was established through the love that your parents and your surroundings showed you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting because like brain dumping or emotion dumping is not just writing things, but we can also do it through music, but we can also do it through our social interactions. And sometimes we overdo it. Like when we love somebody, we overlove that person, and that person cannot deal with the entire spectrum and the entire resonance of that feelings that we're trying to get across. And sometimes this is the question I ask myself: the 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 act of this, or the act of such, is this creating a pressure on the other person, or is this choking the other person?
Yeah, there's types of love actually. Like, I'm just a senior major like student, so I'm like, it's like my second year with
What's your major?
psychology and sociology.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's like types of love, and for example, conditioning. I think in Turkey in general has it. Like,
Since you're a psychology and sociology major, if I were to come to you and say, Donna, I need treatment because now and then I feel that I'm not appreciated. But I'm very good at sort of igniting my own light and feeding myself from my inner. And I always say it to other people, you don't need to appreciate me. But then deep down, when I'm not appreciated in certain incidences, especially by my close circles, I feel wounded. How would you continue this conversation?
yeah, it's normal because you expect them like give some energy, and in return you want something actually.
But let's say I'm saying to them, look, I don't want anything in return.
Hmm.
But I'm still expecting that thing in return. So I am like cheating on myself in a way. So
Yeah.
if I come to you as a psychologist and explain something like this to you, what would be your next question, or what would be your feedback to me?
Not really psychologist because I need a master's degree and stuff, and
Yeah, but let's say from whatever you've studied right now, since because you're bringing out something very important. You're saying, look, we need to socialize to feel united, therefore that we're understood and not misperceived. But then I'm going even further. I'm saying, look, I am creating a situation within me where I'm saying I don't expect anything in return, but I'm still willingly, caringly giving. But then when I'm not receiving, even though I say that I will not be hurt, I feel hurt.
But
What's my problem?
I'm gonna bring another perspective here because
Please.
um I absorbed my culture. Yani, for example, when someone marries, there is a silent like
Agreement or bond?
agreement. Yeah,
Okay.
like for example, I give that girl a gold.
Okay.
In return, if I marry, that girl should give it to me. There's a silent agreement. Like,
Okay.
you actually say, "Oh, I don't expect it," but you actually expect it.
Okay.
In reverse. I don't know. In general, our geography is like this.
Oh my God, then I am doomed because to any wedding I go to, I don't give anything.
Like, oh,
So this translates in the different parameter of the other side life of mine. Like, we're talking about quantum right now. Lives in parallel lives. So in my other parallel life, I'm being punished because I'm not taking any gold to any weddings. So people are not giving me anything in terms of appreciation of to my production in this life.
I mean, I just wanted to like bring like cultural like perspective, which is a silent way of rules. And it's not directly said, but you absorb it, but somehow. it's like norms, maybe we can say.
And if you don't feed those norms, you're being misperceived and misunderstood.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, in our society, it's a little bit.
Okay.
like this.
As we're getting close to our conclusion, then I want 3 tips from you, or recipes from you, not to be misperceived and misunderstood. What should we do? Number 1. Yeah, from your opinion, from your perspective.
Oh, so
Not to be misunderstood and misperceived, what should we do? What, give our audiences 3 pieces of your mind. So, number 1, what should we do?
I don't know. Let's be ordinary.
Let's be ordinary, okay? Number 2,
Stick with the rules.
stick with the rules. Boring. And
Yeah,
then number
it's
3,
boring, yeah. Number 3. Be basic.
be basic. Stick with the ordinary. Obey the rules and be basic. Oh my God, we are now dead. We are all of a sudden human robots. No authenticity, no feeling. I rather feel the pain, or I rather be misunderstood, and I rather be misperceived rather than going through your recommendations. My recommendations would be go crazy, so people call you crazy. Oh my God, you're so crazy. Do the unexpected, so people are shocked and they wake up, and you wake yourself up as well. And number 3, whatever makes you flow. Don't be like water, my friend, as Bruce Lee says. Be like water. Anyway, In and Out with Professor Yalman from Radio TED-U Ankara Studios at TED University. We had a fantastic guest, Dolunay, in my terms, Dona. Thank you very much. Psychology and sociology major, and she plays the violin and oud. Oh my God, what a sociable, lovable person we have in front of us. Thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you next week. Be in tuned with another guest. Please stay.